Should MPs have to declare their faith? Hi, my name's Dr. James Holt. And recently, the MP, Chris Coughlan, he said that MPs should be forced to declare their membership of a faith before discussing life issues like abortion or assisted dying. He said, in the same way that if you own shares in a company and you're talking about that company in a debate, you would declare that conflict of interest beforehand, and you probably wouldn't vote either. The reason he says this is that in the recent conversation about the right to die, he voted to support it, and his parish priest then took away his right to take communion. So he felt as though he was being asked to choose between his religion and to represent the views of his constituency. And what he's saying is that essentially a religion is just another vested interest, or that's the way that it seems. And I think that's to misunderstand what it is to be religious. And I think it's not a vested interest, it's just lots of different elements of us that make up who we are, our culture, our background, our values, all of those different types of things. And Melanie McDonough, who's a commentator in the Times, has suggested that a religious view is simply a moral view. If it comes to a Catholic view of politics, she said, Catholic MPs may as well declare a conflict of interest before sounding off about loan sharks or rack renters or nuclear proliferation or human trafficking. These are all issues that the church has views about. And I think what Coughlan misses is just the idea that religion actually does influence our worldview, but it doesn't mean that it's a negative thing, that it's actually a positive thing, that it's what constructs our morality. Now, it may be that a person is non-religious and that just as much constructs their morality as well. And so I think what we need to look at is that religion is just a natural part of who they are. Now, he has chosen to ignore the religious teachings of his religion, and that's fine. He is perfectly at liberty to do so. But to suggest that a politician of any kind should declare their interest because they're going to follow their religion no matter what is, I think, slightly naive. And something, if we go back to the 60s, John F. Kennedy had to discuss his Roman Catholicism. James Bundy, who's another political commentator, has said something else. He said, reducing conscience votes to a religious litmus test is like explaining the weather with a single cloud. It ignores the bigger picture. MPs make decisions based on a swirl of personal experiences, life history and moral reflection. He uses the example that if we're going to demand that MPs disclose their religious beliefs, should they also declare, for example, if their family has faced addiction or trauma or mental health struggles before voting on those issues? We all have vested interests in all of the different issues that come before Parliament. I think to kind of make religion one of those things that he sees as kind of problematic, I think that's problematic in and of